Hello and welcome back to play day 5 of the EU Challenger League. We are getting stuck into round 2 of the lower bracket, and as you can see, we are kicking off with a banger. Hellraisers versus Acend. My name is Ian Chambers. I am rejoined on the analyst desk by Demo and X. Guys, we have to expect that this one is going to be close.
One for the history books, I would say, Ian. It's going to be a great matchup between two teams that have struggled. I think that's clear to say. Both have had losses, of course, but both have also had wins. So there's that to take away from it.
That's true. And talking about those losses, Ollie, all of the teams that we see play today have exposed those losses and their weaknesses to their opponents. So do you think that we might see, a switch of play styles here?
Well, we are getting into the sharp end of things, Ian, so there is a possibility now that we see a little bit more counterplay coming out. These teams now really know what they're going to be going up against. It's not just one best of 3 they've got to go on, they've got 2 best of 3s to be going on.
And they've had time to research.
They've had a lot of time. Obviously, there's been a couple of week break. There's been about a week break, but depending on when the team's played, you could be looking there toward 2 weeks. So there's been quite a bit of time for these teams to actually put the work in the hard yards to really understand how they want to bring their A game today.
Demo, speaking of weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Hellraisers on the attack.
I mean,
of course.
I talked about it.
You really flexed on us there.
We've seen the issue for them. It's just the fundamental basics. Communication was not there, and that's something that you need to make sure you nail. I think Hellraisers, you look at some of the stuff that they've done well. I think their nade gameplay has been on point. We've seen the nades work extremely well for them, getting those opening picks. I mean, the opening picks has been a phenomenal kind of work for them, and unfortunately, it's then closing out those rounds that they seem to struggle with, which realistically, that should be the easy bit. They've done the hard work, but they can't do the easy bit.
Well, you chatted a lot about Hellraisers being weak in attack. Is it fair to say that Acend have similar issues?
Yeah, I think Acend have also been, I think, one of those teams where they're in a position where they're winning, and then they let it slip. And now we're getting into a scenario where you're kind of getting both teams with similar playstyles with similar mistakes. It's more a case of who's going to expose who rather than who's going to play better. It's who's going to expose.
You got to say as well, Ollie, that Acend really have had the toughest route to get to this point. M&M in the quarterfinals and then Makers in the lower bracket round 1. They must have to have a different mentality coming into this series.
They've got a really good opportunity tonight to showcase that, I think. There's a very good chance that we come out and we see a very different Acend here because they haven't got that pressure on them, or maybe the lack of pressure because they're not necessarily expected to go in and win against teams like M&M and like Makers. They didn't win against M&M. They did win against Makers, but that's going to give them a little bit of a confidence boost. Obviously, they're in the lower bracket, so everything, every little bit of confidence boost is going to help at this point. They can only make one more mistake. They can only lose one more series, but there is an opportunity tonight that we see a little bit of a different Acend come through. They've maybe going into what in their eyes maybe a little bit of a fairer matchup. That could be fair to say, and I think they could flourish under that.
I mean, the thing that Ian said was they had a tough route. I mean, they've kind of played. They're going to be playing now. I would say that the 3 favourites, if we were to go back at the start of the season, you would say that M&M, Makers, and Hellraisers were all in contention for that top 2 spot. And they beat one of them, they lost to the other. Make it 2 for free.
Who knows? We're going to find out. Let's find out which maps we will be going to. Let's get into the vetoes here. I'm going to come to you, Ollie. This could really dictate the results here.
I'm looking at these maps and I am a little bit worried, I'll be honest. We see Chalet and Oregon being picked as the first 2 with a clubhouse decider. We've spoken a little bit about attacker win rates over the course of Challenger League. It's kind of a bit of a topic in Siege in general. It's always a good indication, a good marker of how well a team plays. With us mentioning that these 2 teams kind of struggle on the old attack, Chalet being in there, kind of expected, but the Oregon pick, the clubhouse pick, that's where you really need that sort of fundamental Siege to be working on attack.
I mean, I would say that this is fairly expected from my perspective anyway. Hellraisers, they ban Coastline. They never banned Chalet, which I'm surprised that they didn't, because that is, in my opinion, Ascend's best map is Chalet. And Ascend, right off the rip, they're picking it first, and they did just that. Oregon, no surprise from Hellraisers. They're very comfortable in that map. It's very Russian-esque, isn't it? It's very, very Russian-esque. And then Clubhouse as a decider. I mean, Hellraisers are probably thinking, hey, this looks pretty good for us. We've got Clubhouse there that we like. We've got Oregon there that we like. Clubhouse, last time they played it, didn't go too well. They lost to Death Row 7-5, so I don't know if Hellraisers thinks that is going the best plan for them. So, it's going to be tricky.
I think we've got just about enough time to have a look at talent predictions. I hate the word talent, but there we go. I've said it now.
Because you're in it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Here we go. I like to hold my comrades and colleagues accountable. And as you can see, You know where I'm going with this. And X, talk us through your predictions and why you went that way.
I mean, you could ask me, you could ask Anne, or you could ask Demo, really, because we've all gone for the same. Ascend in the first match, Viperio in the second. The statistics look terrible. 50% for everybody else, and then Amfox on 100%.
They only started the last play day,
It is
count.
worth mentioning we've got one play day's worth of statistics to go for. 2 best of 3s in a play day. So it's not as bad as it looks, Ian. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with my choices, I think. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident. I don't think Anthox will be that smug at the end of the day.
Well, we're just waiting for a couple of bits and pieces to come together before we throw across. One thing that we can guarantee as a prediction, Demo, and it is something that you touched on a little bit earlier, both of these teams have excelled in the nade meta. Both of them have done well in opening picks. So we can safely predict that we've got a bit of a bloodbath on our hands here.
I mean, opening pick might be a massive statistic
Chalet
today.
as well.
You know, it's going to be huge. I think if you look at how both teams kind of portray each other on the attack, I mean, Hellraisers, you know, they're very aggressive in the beginning. They like to get in there fast, use the nade work, maybe find 2 opening kills, and they're starting a 5 versus 3. But then the issues start rolling for Hellraisers in those mid rounds where things aren't working for them and they start losing players one by one. Whereas you look at Ascend, they like to control the game. They play nice and slow. If somebody opens up and gives them a pick, they'll take it every day of the week. And then they play with that man advantage. And then from there, again, quite similar, is they're sat in these positions and then it slowly fades away for them.
Ollie, if you're ready to get into this, fist bump you, boy. Let's get into it. This is it. We've waited long enough. It is time to get onto map 1. We are crossing over from the blue desk to the golden desk of dreams with our Dutch duo. Anne and Anthox, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ian. And indeed, it is another play day, and the Dutch duo is back.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to the next game that we'll be having on here. It's going to be a tough one, I reckon. I mean, I would expect a 3-mapper. We have 3 maps in to begin with Chalet. I'm a big fan of Chalet personally. Do you like it as well, or...?
I would love to be in Chalet, although it looks quite snowy as well. So I'm just a little bit cold, you know, and I'm hoping for more warm weather today.
I mean, we might get some warm weather later on today.
If we go to like coast, something
yeah, but
like
coastline was banned, I reckon. So I don't think we're going to be seeing
later
coastline
on,
just
I
yet.
mean.
Yeah, maybe later tonight.
Exactly. It is indeed Ascend against Hellraisers, the first match of today. And Ascend gets to start with a ban, and that will be a attacking operator that will be banned. And big surprise there, and it's Thatcher.
Nah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, Thatcher's one of the most banned operators in attack we've seen so far. One of the very interesting statistics is that Velk is one of the most banned operators on the fence as well. Curious to see if we'll see that one later today. First off, of course, it's Hellraisers with another attacking ban. And they decide to go for the Twitch. That is a very interesting pick, and it might as well be to counter the new sub or the new player coming in with Acend, because we did see Shade play a lot of Twitch. Twitch will no longer be on the board, and that also means that Hellraisers gets to ban their first defensive operator.
Indeed, the Twitch is off the board here. Valkyrie, most banned operator statistically seen in the Challenger League to be banned. So no big surprises over there, right, Em?
No big surprises. I mean, obviously on a map like Chalet, it really allows you to roam a lot. So if you have those Valkyrie cams assisting you with a ton of information on where attackers are, it's so much easier to perform a flank on them whatsoever. Also, we do see the Mirror being banned, quite a standard ban as well. It's been like that for a couple of years, really. Mirror doesn't see a lot of play. So in this game, she won't be played either. I do really think that the Twitch ban is very interesting. I reckon it's a very strong counterban towards Shade that we did see step in with Acend last week. So I reckon it's definitely because of that.
It is Ascend who gets to defend first, and they decide to go to the bar gaming. If we have a look at their lineup currently, no big surprises to be seen. And we do see the Melusi being 6-pick to an alibi. So that could be quite a surprise. You can trick your enemies with that.
Yeah, exactly. If you put them in the good positions. I mean, obviously within bar and between gaming, you have these shotgun holes, or we'll probably see the Rooney punch holes on head height. And if you put one of those alibi prisms right behind it and you start pre-firing that, for example, from the bar window, you're going to get tricked by that and your position will be revealed. Looking at this, I mean, Hellraisers is starting on attack. We do know in the past that Chalet has been a little bit favored towards the attackers. So I reckon that Hellraisers can get a really good start on this map. They do have, I think, one set of nades two sets of nades, probably coming in with the Finka as well as the Yana. So I hope they can do a lot of damage with it and probably get rid of utility very quickly. Because if we look at the lineup of Acend, we do see some counters towards those grenades straight away. We see the Jaeger as well as the Vamai. I see a shield coming with the alibi, and I reckon they were going to put it on top of the library stairs. It's a very solid position. You want to hold on for as long as possible, because if you hold on to that, you can deny access from piano, you can deny access from top main and everything. So I hope to see that they can have that shield stay alive for as long as possible, but the nades will probably do great work against it.
An interesting fact here, Anne, is that we've seen Chalet being played 9 times so far in Challenger League. And Bar Gaming is actually the least amount won. It's only been won 35% of the times that it's been played. With Wine Cellar taking the #1 spot 60% of the times.
That is so interesting, because I think wine's a very difficult side to defend. As soon as you lose control over wine barrels, it's really difficult to regain that control. But, I mean, the attackers are off to a strong start here, already trying to take that control over Office, take that control over Piano. And I reckon the next step would be to open that wall at Office, which will probably be something that Rush is going to do, so they can have that peeky hole towards that shield on top of the library stairs. At this moment in time, I do not see a player of Acend directly behind that shield on top library. Just imagine here with those flashes could probably disable a lot of the ADSs or those Wamai magnets, so they could get rid of that shield as soon as possible.
Indeed, it is the shield that needs to be cleared here. That shield also does get cleared. At least that's what I thought. Now it did. It was the Gong 6 that needed to be used. 2 of them actually, because we also saw Diana try and use the Gong 6. But hey, there was so much utility there to save that shield. You have the Wamai, you have the Jaegers. So of course it's quite a challenge to do. So it is now Ravon that's still playing on the library stairs. Can count on a little bit of support from his friend who's actually in library, the Alibi. It is Smash that does take a little bit of damage, but that damage is almost nullified because he of course can heal himself. Ooh, Rush is about to confront the Alibi here, but the Alibi does see Rush there as well, but Rush doesn't take any damage, and Alibi Mello has to fall back now. Took a lot of damage. The opening frag we still have to wait for. It's 55 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's really good that we did see Mello get away there safely. Exodus, however, being the entry death here, as it's Ice to pick up that first kill here from the lobby double door. Looks to challenge up another person around this lobby main door, but doesn't really happen just yet. Meanwhile, we see a mission at this window jump here, potentially looking to gain control more. Refag coming in on Ice a little bit late, but we only have 35 seconds left to play. Top floor control is in hands of Hellraisers, but that is basically all they have at this moment in time. They need to start opening up those hatches, need to start putting pressure onto these enemies, otherwise it'll be a lost case. Revan falls as well due to a mission, and we're looking at a 4-3 attacker advantage.
It is only 18 seconds remaining, and enemy does know that one of the operators is about to come down those stairs. It is Smash who gets a beautiful kill there on enemy. Only 10 seconds remaining. 2 players on the side of Acend, and a beautiful double kill from Mello. Shade needs to clutch it up. A 1 versus 1. He doesn't have time, Flares. He needs to go for the frag. Flares gets killed by Shade. How do they still win this round? It was a 2 versus 4.
I do not know how Shade survived that, because he was literally getting his toes shot off as well as his kneecaps, but he was able to lay down there. Obviously those head holes could work in your disadvantage as well if the attacker is on site and can peek through those holes. So very well played out there by Shade, going prone in front of those holes, or behind those holes really. If you look at the attacker's perspective, could waste a lot of time there, and definitely that shield taking so much time to get rid of that on top of the library stairs. I mean, we did see the Vamai stay alive quite long. Initially, it was one of those attackers that went into the gunfight or tried to get into the gunfight with the Vamai, but because they didn't eliminate that Vamai really quickly into the round, that allowed for Wamai to keep on putting those magnets and keep on wasting utility that was coming out from Hellraisers. Eventually it didn't work their way as they all started dropping, and Shade did a really good clutch there, already going 3-0.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's already 3-0. That he got 3 kills there. The overlay kind of baited me. I said the overlay kind of baited me. It said that Mello had 2 kills. Not the overlay, the kill feed. But he of course got it down, and I guess it got stolen by Shade. Because it is indeed Shade has 3 kills.
Yes, exactly. It's with the injure point and everything.
Exactly. Do you ever get baited by those when you play ranked or unranked, or?
Not necessarily. I do like the fact that you now get the point if someone falls in your frostmat and someone else finishes that kill, you actually get the kill point.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do like that.
Okay, that's quite nice. Didn't know that. The more you know. It is Acend who's leading 1-0, and they've decided now to go to the kitchen site. They were able to successfully defend bar against the statistics. If we have a look at the statistics, kitchen is the second most won bomb site, so it only makes sense that they go there.
Yeah, I like that they have the kite from underneath, right? So this will force Hellraisers to have to take control over all 3 different floors of this building to get rid of all the utility. I mean, you can try it with a nade, but it won't be as successful as you can also send someone downstairs. Seeing as they also have some rumors above, it's going to take a lot of time for Hellraisers to clear all these operators and clear that utility efficiently. Exodus there finding himself in a gunfight with someone on the library stairs, and Mello doesn't notice the drone on top of the library stairs, getting pinged constantly, but neither of the players of Hellraisers is able to eliminate him there. He gets to stay alive for as long as possible, fully fleshed out, and finally it is Exodus to take care of Mello here. Exodus, however, immediately getting refragged. We're looking at a 4-4 operator count, and it's only a minute played.
That took a little bit too much utility and a little bit too much time there to clear Mello, and it also took Exodus, who was instantly refragged. So indeed, Acend doing quite some good time wasting, and it was maybe only a minute, but that's still a minute off the board, and you only have 3 of those in the round. So with that, we're now at a situation in which it's a 4 versus 4 situation, and the mission needs to find the Cade here. Cade still playing in the basement, does get droned out here, or does he get misdroned? That's the question. That is the question, and was he misdroned? Surely not. He just shot, so Flares does hear him, and now he's in a little bit of a pickle. Oh no, how do you win that? He wasn't supposed to win that in the mission. You were supposed to be there for the refrag, but you weren't. And now he's gone. Beautiful kill there by Cade. Beautiful played by Enemy, and that is the experience that we know Enemy brings to this team.
Yeah, and this is such a problem because they don't know where Enemy is as of right now, and the diffuser is also dropped outside. I still has control of Solar here, and 2 players are looking to pressure him, but neither being successful for that matter. Smash, however, still waiting here as they have one more nade in the hands of Smash. Is just looking to force himself into the side really because there's not much they can do. Flares is killed, so they don't have a Heartbreacher. That Kite Electroclaw was still on the breach. They do actually have Hibana still, but that's not looking too good as of right now. Shader ever picking up the kill onto Mission, leaving 2 attackers here for Hellraisers. One of them being on fairly low HP, and now they finally regained that diffuser. 18 seconds however on the clock, no breaching whatsoever. This is going to be a really difficult round.
It will be very difficult, but we also saw Acend win a 2 versus 4. It is, however, a 1 versus 4 here. Smash needs to be able to clutch this up, but no, Ravon says, I'll take 2 for the team. It takes 2 to tangle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, this is another very strong round we saw from Acend. I pointed out in the very beginning that they had presence, whether it be utility or whether it be operators, on all 3 different floors, and it took Hellraisers fairly long to track down these operators of Acend and to actually force them out of their positions as well. So we did see Exodus constantly drone out that player, Mello, on the library stairs. It took them really long to pressure them. There was someone coming from bar and someone coming from library as well, but they couldn't get a hold of Mello. When they eventually did, it was Exodus to get refragged almost immediately, and then they also had to deal with the Kite that was still downstairs. They joined him out. There was a player there who was trying to engage in a gunfight, but he never expected the Kite to just run out of wine, pre-fire that door, and there you go. That's the diffuser drop. That is a defender where you don't know the position of, and you have to re-drone him, and I don't think Hellraisers were successful in that. So they didn't really know where the Kite was. The utility was still on the wall, where the breachers died. It all just started to fall down further and further for Hellraisers in that round.
It might actually only get worse here if we see this Master Office hold successfully being defended by Acend. That's the question. What I like about Acend is that, of course, you want to reinforce these walls here. But what I like about Acend is that their setups have been quite basic, right? We've seen them do this before. We've seen Enemy being played in the basement before, in which he uses those Cade Claws. However, Hellraisers, I think that was a point that Demo made earlier, right? Like, Hellraisers does not play as a team. And that's their downfall, right? They're not in the right refrag positions. They're always a slither too late, and we just saw that happen again when they were trying to clear that Cade. I mean, to be fair, Hibana should have never lost that gunfight against the Cade. And she did.
Wow, this is solid control already coming out from Hellraiser. They do have that presence on the solar windows. 2 players are playing down. We did see the buck underneath in Garage, trying to make sure that the trophy stairs are actually clear by making those shotgun holes from underneath so he could successfully hold it. This time, however, Acend doesn't have a strong hold or some players downstairs, and we did see Hellraisers put up some drones there quite immediately, so they knew that was clear. They don't have to force someone in to get there to get that kill on a player roaming on the very bottom floor. But they do have to make sure that they get eyes, as he is still roaming around kitchen, supported by one of his players from Acend as well. We do see now Yana walking in, but Yana gets taken out by Enemy. Enemy going fairly low on HP, but again the entry kill in the favor of Acend. Acend is not having a solid game so far, and now another attacker of Hellraisers has to come in, try and clear those operators from underneath, but the refrag potential just isn't there yet.
And they do have a drone here, an enemy, and that does get them a refrag kill here, a mission with a kill for his team. It is, however, Ice that's still on the roam, and the question remains, do they know that Ice is right there? Because I think that they feel fairly safe. Let's not forget, though, they do have a flank drone somewhere in the wine cellar, because that's how one of the other players was just droned out, right? The enemy was droned out, but is there a player on that flank drone? We do see a yellow ping coming out over here. I don't think that yellow ping came from Acend here, right? They do know that there's somebody on the flank indeed. And Ice now has to watch out because there is an angle being held, but the rest of his team is falling. So now he says, you know what, I'm just going to forfeit this angle. But you knew that somebody was coming there, right? All right. Good job, Emission. Good job. You bring it back. 3 versus 3.
Oh, look at this angle that Shade is holding. He's got so much pressure there onto the very tiny breach that Hellraiser's made towards Master Bedroom. Mello also still has some utility to protect himself from flashbangs and grenades, but the players already walked in. Rush is trying to go for a plant. Perfect cover coming out from Emission here. Smash trying to protect himself from the Master Bedroom window as well. Nothing really happening so far. Vaughn gets down. Shade gets down. So Vaughn only left in here. Goes for the plant diffuser. All the players of Hellraisers were cleared there quite efficiently by the players of Acend. And then they have Shade being downed. That's fine. Katie saved.
He hasn't died yet.
He hasn't died yet.
He hasn't died yet. 3 rounds in a row. I mean, I was literally looking for the copy pasta. I'm about to have the copy pasta go in Twitch chat. I mean, Shade, skilled player, but that's is not normally.
No, they need to check him and PC.
Exactly,
yes.
It is not normally. 6-0, my goodness. It is Acend leading 3-0, and did anybody of us think that Hellraisers stood a chance today? I think Ian. Poor Ian.
Yeah, there were some people that predicted Hellraisers, for sure.
If you look at this right now, yeah. I mean, Chalet isn't even a defender-sided map, Anne.
No, but the issues I'm seeing is, like, they have the drones. I mean, they're trying to adapt to the fact that they have, like, Acend has presence on all 3 different floors. So what they do is they set up their drones downstairs when the site isn't downstairs, just so they know that it is clear, there's no presence of player of Acend whatsoever, and they can take it immediately. They don't even have to have physical presence there of players from Hellraisers, but they know that it's clear, and they won't get pressure from downstairs. However, when you do see them trying to drone out those defenders or roamers on the middle floor or the top floor, we do see, for example, Exodus hopping into the Northwest main, trying to engage in the gunfight, but he loses the gunfight. There's no refrag potential whatsoever because it was only Exodus walking in there. He only hopped in there by himself, went for the gunfight, and I mean, Exodus is a player that we do expect to step up if you look at Hellraisers, but he's not doing it so far. He's not having a good game whatsoever.
No, that is indeed a shame. It really is. I mean, you know, against Death Row, Exodus only had a rating of 0.7. He was bottom performing for his team, and it seems like he's about to do the same. It is a shame. Let's not forget that. Okay, Shade is really not normally.
That's crazy. He's doing the James Bond, but reversed, going 7-0-0. That is absolutely crazy. Going very aggressive as well with a mute, where you also have that C4 where you could do a lot of damage with later on into the round, but it looks like Acend is feeling very confident. However, Ice gets picked up by Smash as well, so we're looking back at a 4-4 man count here. Ice being put on that camp duty for the rest of the round, but still looking at the fact that it's Bar. They have one of their Heartbreachers dying as well now, Rush. That is so unfortunate. Mellow picking up a kill there, but they also have these Frostmets that they need to drone out properly. They need to make sure they don't step into one because they can't be losing any more attackers now.
Now we just see Exodus here face peeking everything, so you kind of know that Hellraisers might have already given up this round over here. It's a 3 versus 4 situation though, because Ice has already been down. So, you know, keep your head up, guys. You can still bring this back. However, it was the perfect bomb site rotate here for Acend. Minute and 35 seconds remaining, and what should they change right now?
Well, they have
maybe
all
be
the
in
time.
refrag positions?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody in a refrag position, right? Like, is there anybody close to Exodus to potentially go for a refrag except from Fluke Window? No, there's not.
Exodus doesn't even use the Yana replicator to scan that out. It has the Yana replicator ready as you look at the indicator on the left side, but doesn't really use that to gain that information. Smash also looking at that Fluke jump in, just waiting for the player to peek, but it's not happening yet. Enemy, however, will find himself in an engagement downstairs. It's Exodus to pick up a kill there, getting us back to a 3-3 man count. But now they have their roamer downstairs gone, but the upstairs presence is still there for Acend. Hellraisers have not been successful in taking that control above, and now Exodus is downstairs. There's a smoke grenade around the bar door, so that should give him some kind of cover to approach that. But they're kind of ignoring the top floor holder coming out from Acend.
I mean, they do know that Flares is on this on these stairs right now because he was seen on that bulletproof cam. So now it's up to Mellow to hold all this for his team. It is 28 seconds remaining, and they have no idea on the side of Hellraisers how to approach this. I mean, they're still juggling here with the top floor, and Exodus is just face-peeking everything, and somehow that did work against the Jaeger. The question is, will it keep working? Is this a beautiful double kill from Mellow? No, it's not. He gets turned away, but it's only 12 seconds remaining. Finally, they're able to shut down Shade. It's all up to Ravon in a 1 versus 2 situation.
Indeed, it's Exodus to pick up that last kill, finally stepping up for his team the way that Hellraisers need to step up, getting that last kill indeed. And this is probably the round where we did see Hellraisers perform best. I mean, it took them quite long to gain any kind of control above, but seeing as they were struggling with it so much, they probably made the call to just ignore that top floor presence. They did have the Finka on that Fluke window just waiting for players of Acend to go aggressive, and that probably was the right call. Exodus, having cleared out the basement, made sure that no pressure was going to come from their behind anymore, as Exodus was able to walk up the main stairs, force himself into a bar, accompanied by the other player of Hellraisers, and that's how they were able to take down all these positions. Mellow, however, quite unfortunate, picked up 1 kill above, but wasn't able to pick up a second. Would he have been able to pick up a second, this round would have probably gone the other way.
Definitely. And how did that work though, Anne? We had Exodus on the Ana just face-peeking everything, crouch walking in the basement. I don't know how that worked, but somehow it did work. So, yeah, I don't want to say it was the greatest round here for Hellraisers. I mean, they did lose 2 of their operators quite early. They lost the Buck almost instantly, and then they lost 1 of their Heartbreachers. It was all up to Exodus. I mean, like you said, he stepped up for his team the way his team needed it. The question is, can he step up for his team in the rest of the rounds? Because without Exodus, they would have lost that round.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I like the setup coming out from Acend. They are in the possibility to go back to bar, but they decide to go towards kitchen now. They're a tertiary bomb site, and they have a very solid defense from upstairs coming out. You see a lot of lines aside, some reinforcements, and quite some utility invested into that upstairs hold. The players of Acend want to hold onto that for as long as possible, but as soon as Hellraisers gain that control from above, you have a mission with the box shotgun. Could open up a lot of lines of sight from above to force defenders out of their standard positions. And I also like to see Shade switching to the smoke instead of that mute. Yes, with the mute you have the C4 that you can do a lot of damage with, but time and time again it seems that it's taken Hellraisers so long to gain any control of the map whatsoever, and they find themselves pushing onto the side within those last 30 seconds. That's when those smoke canisters are most viable and you can do most damage with.
It did take a double impact there, so that's a little bit of a shame. Should have been only one impact to trick those Hibana pellets, but unfortunately there was still a little bit of debris which stopped one of the impact nades. It is now Smash trying to look for the opening kill. Will he do so? Yes, he will, because Ravon decides to peek, and that means that Smash and Hellraisers get the opening kill here for this round. It is still a minute and 45 seconds remaining, so plenty of time here for Hellraisers to go for an execute. And this is funny. Shade, he just walked under that hole that you made.
Oh my, why are both players just missing that gunfight here? Shade being pressured from both windows, but somehow he gets to escape. Finds himself on the west main stairs here. Nate coming in to find this position as well, but not really doing any damage to him whatsoever. He still is able to survive and probably can go for a rotate. Smoke rotating is not ideal, but he's still alive. Ice can cover himself as well, as Emission is still on the top floor here. Not really doing anything just so far, but it seems like they're kind of ignoring that top floor hold coming out from Acend. Enemy all by himself on side, and Melo still is in a really good position to do some pressure as well. However, two players from Acend from Hellraisers get that kill. It's two players left in the hands of Acend. Melo going really low, Shade also on fairly low HP, and still a minute to play with.
Indeed, still a minute to play with, and when Melo also goes down and it's all up to Shade. The 1 versus 4 situation has to watch out, because there might be a player coming right behind him in any second now. It is, however, Flares that's trying to get the defuse down. Shade in a predicament. I don't think he will be able to close this out, but you never know. It wouldn't be the first time that Hellraisers loses a 1 versus 4, and just as I say that, Smash proves me wrong.
Well, I can see this kind of change in pace coming out from Hellraisers. So they keep on realizing that, hey, this top 4 control is kind of solid. I think there were at least 3 players of Acend above, holding on to Solar, holding on to Master Bedroom and Office and everything. And it didn't really look as if Hellraisers were going to take that top 4 control efficiently. We did see the Hibana pellets being tricked by that impact and everything. So what they did is they kind of ignored that top floor hold. All of a sudden, we saw Finka and Trophy just battling it out with Shade, who was on the other side of that soft wall. And, well, they probably should have won the gunfight there, but still Shade was able to rotate fully back towards the kitchen and everything. But the fact that they try to ignore that top floor control and just gain that map control horizontally instead of vertically really worked out for them well this time. And then if you feel that pressure on the side, it was only the kite player of Acend on site, and they had to like call the players of Acend back because he was getting so pressured onto site. That, however, forced players of Acend to give up that top floor control, and that's why we saw those vertical lines also being utilized very well by the players of Hellraisers. 2-3 right now. They could potentially bring this to a 3-3. That is damage limitation, if you'd ask me.
Definitely. That'd be actually quite good, and then they might still be in the running here. It's like maybe they just needed a little bit of time to warm up, and it surely does seem like it. However, we're going back to a bar hold, and let's not forget that's one of the sites that Acend has tried twice, and they've been successful 50% of the times. Were they really successful in that first round? And it was a 1 versus 1, and it was Shade who literally got his toes shut off, and somehow he still stayed alive.
Could potentially be. I mean, look at Shade is going 8-2. And on the other hand, we unfortunately have Rush going 0-4 still. Quite unfortunate if you keep on losing your Heart Breacher. I mean, they have an alternative with Flares, but 2 Heart Breaches is ideal to get as map control as quickly as possible. One of the players, Melo here in Library, gets droned out. Doesn't really do much about that drone just yet. Feels kind of safe, but Emission keeps on droning him out. I think this is probably a missed drone. Drone now finally being spotted, but Melo gets to retreat to a safer position here. 2 minutes left on the board, just a little bit more than that, but Hellraisers aren't really looking to clear up the floor stairs that effectively.
It is the alibi that's wasting a lot of time for Hellraisers here. Already a minute, already got 2 drones that we saw in camera, might have gotten a few more. It is a mission that's going to try to clear the person playing here on the top of the blue stairs. Does have to watch out because Smash might try to nade here, but first clears the shield. Very logical to clear that shield right over there. Ravon throws one of his magnet discs here because he is indeed afraid of one of those. Oh, he needs to be more afraid of Exodus. Exodus might go for the kill here, but does he know that he's about to get peeked? No, he doesn't. Eyes with a very good kill here on Exodus. And with that, the opening frag for Acend.
That is detrimental for Hellraiser because now the players still get to play around those library stairs. Mela picking up a kill onto Emission as well, but this library stairs is going to be so difficult to pressure now. Ravon gets injured, Mela gets taken out as well, so we're looking at a 3-3. Technically, a minute left to play. Approximately, Mismeta should know that the player is injured. Finishes him off. Now we're looking at a 3-3 position. Enemy is off-site, holding that main stairs. Probably expecting anyone to go down that main stairs within a second.
Yeah, it is the hatch that's about to be opened here by the Hibana and Smash. Literally and figuratively trying to smash Acend into the ground here. Does have to watch out though, because vertical angles are being played here by Ice. That's the Hibana almost taking damage, but B somehow not taking any damage and getting out of there alive. It is both Ice and Shade here that are quite clustered up. They do have to watch out though. It is Rush that has the intel. Does he also have the gunpowder? Yes, he does. He gets to kill an enemy, and with that, it's all of a sudden a 3 versus 2 situation. They're about to get pushed away here from the bar stock because it's the Hibana pellets going off on that bar stock wall over here. Oh my goodness. It is Ice with the return frag on flares. 12 seconds remaining, a 2 versus 2 situation. Rush is pretty much on site, does get killed here by Shade. Can Shade get the second frag? No, it's Ice with the second frag on Smash. And with that, this round somehow still goes to Acend.
Yeah, it could have really gone the other way. Looking at the information that Hellraisers had, we did see the yellow pings. Second after second coming out on the Jaeger, who was holding the bottom of the main stairs. So obviously a pre-fire coming out from Rush to clear that player there. That looked like solid control coming out from Hellraisers, having the information as well. But also, when they tried to open up that bar stock area, they had it smoked off.
Exactly.
I mean, that gave the perfect cover for Shade to just escape from stock, unscattered, hide behind the bar, and that's how he was able to reposition without the players of Hellraisers knowing where he was. I mean, at one point they had the information, for example on the Jaeger being on the main stairs, but they had no idea where Shade was. That allowed Shade to step up big. Shade had the information on the final player as well, with that player being revealed by the Alibi Prisma, but it was Ice to pick up the last one. A solid round coming out from Acend, but are we surprised really? Chalet is one of the strongest maps from Acend.
It is, it's like you can read my mind, Dan. I was literally about to say they were being flushed out of bar stock. However, there was a smoke grenade that helped them be able to just walk out of bar stock instead of like sprint out of bar stock. You saw Shade say, you know what? Thank you for, giving me some smoke coverage. I can just walk out of this bar stock. However, with the halftime point also comes the flipping of sides. So that means that Acend now gets to attack. They do bring quite some interesting operators, don't they?
Something covering that. Oh, they have the floors. I do actually like the fact that they bling the floors, seeing as we have players with a shield there. You have those mood jammers and everything, all those other types of utility that you can deal with when you have that floors. Obviously, him bringing 3 of those flashbangs could easily deal with ADSs and everything. Icearver looking to take control quite quickly, gets the cam on West Main immediately. Shade's already droning out the bar to make sure that nobody is there. And this is really good pre-placed drones from Acend coming out. They have that information that bar is clear, which should allow Mel to take library with no pressure from C4s whatsoever. But it's Smash to look in towards a gunfight there as he repositions himself on top of the library stairs.
It is Smash who's still here on the roam, and the question is, do they know that he's on the roam? I feel like they do, because they have the right flank drones here. Shade does know that Smash has kind of left that place over here. Rotates all the way back to West Main. With that, might be able to get all the way even back to site. They do have great flank drones here on the side of Acend. That's something that I do want to compliment them for. And he misses the person that's slaying on the hatch.
I'm just wondering why they don't go for the shield immediately, but this floor is our 0-0 charge might as well clear the Mute Jammer on the Breacher. We do see enemy in lobby now. They've already taken that control. It seems like Acend is working very efficiently when it comes to clearing out map control. Looking at this lobby breach, almost going open, but it gets impacted with the impact from Emission. He is taking a lot of damage now, being pressured out of this kitchen as they need to know that they need to force him out of there to get that breach going on successfully. Only one more exothermic charge in the hands of enemy. They're looking to impact tricked it once again. That was not successful, however. The breach towards lobby now being opened. This should allow Acend to get into that site, probably cover it off with a smoke, which they don't have. They only seem to have flashbangs. But now that Ravon can get some information here, they can get rid of that bulletproof camera. and that should open up opportunities for Acend.
Was it high enough? Yes, it was indeed high enough. So indeed they can get rid of that bulletproof camera here. They just did. It's, however, still a Rush that's playing down below. Might be able to throw, for example, a C4 up the hatch and cancel a potential defuse there. It's Flares that takes just a slither of damage. And now we still see Ravon using his drones. It's going to try to clear some more utility here on the side of Hellraisers. Smash still playing the vertical angles from above. And do they know all this on the side of Acend? Because they don't seem too bothered by it, but they only have 22 seconds remaining.
No, they need to go for an execute indeed. Smash still holding those vertical angles, re-enabling the Surya gate, so that should give the hint to Melody is still indeed above. Just to disable that again with the Gemini replicator, but now 8 seconds left on the clock. C4 probably coming out in a little bit as the enemy not going for the diffuser just yet. He gets injured as well. Diffuser being dropped onto the side. One player left in the hands of Acend, but time is running out. It is now Hellraiser to pick up that first defensive round on Kitchen here. This looked like it was definitely gonna go into Ascend's way. They had the breach, they had the control from downstairs, had those pre-placed drones, but that top 4 control in the combination with the player still in Kitchen and the C4 coming from underneath was too much for Acend to be able to deal with.
Yes, they didn't really count in that there's still 2 vertical angles being played, one from below and one from up top. The one from up top they did notice, because you saw that Ice was waiting in library, he was waiting for the execute, and then he was going to push the person playing up top, which is the Jaeger. However, before he could even get close to the Jaeger, all of his teammates had already died on site. So that wasn't really the play there, was it, Acend? Unfortunately for them, they lose that round, but no worries just yet, because they're still up 1 round here, Anne, and now it is Hellraisers that go for a bar hold. Interestingly, that they started on Kitchen. Because, I mean, we've seen Kitchen being played before. However, it's one of the least favorite bomb sites to be played by any Challenger League team here in this season. Only 27 times, whereas, for example, a Master Office has been played 38 times, 11 times more.
Yeah, it's looking like Hellraisers at this moment in time still want to avoid that Master Office site. They're now picking bar, and if we look at that last round once again, I liked how Acend was trying to force themselves through lobby, but the map control just wasn't enough for them to properly take that site. There was too much pressure still from all those different floors. What I'm hoping to see from Acend come out in this time is that they have those flank drones set up downstairs, so they are in fact sure nobody is going to sit downstairs. I mean, there isn't that much potential for C4s and everything coming out for this bomb site, but still you don't want to have a player just push your back all of a sudden. They also need that top 4 control. Having control over library is going to be essential, and to get that control they need to force Exodus out first. Miller already looking to position himself for a potential nade toss, but I reckon with all these ADSs and potential Wamai magnets that those nades probably won't be doing too much damage immediately. Rush Hour taking a little bit of damage. There comes a nade from Melu, one already being stopped by that ADS, and the second one's going to get caught by the magnet. This is a lot of utility being wasted here by Acend.
It is indeed a lot of utility being wasted, and all for nothing here, because that ADS has, of course, been resetted already. Just as you said it, Dan, this would happen.
Yeah.
It is a lot of utility being wasted here, and Exodus makes it back onto site.
Yeah, all that utility being wasted for nothing, real, because Exodus just drops back to side. Now, Acend might need to take this library side, but Smash is still onto the library door as well, looking for drones. And as he shoots them down, he knows he's going to get pressure from these windows, but so much utility and players still above. Rush also still on the side, but Melo tries to take control from downstairs. Acend is not really efficient when it comes to clearing out top 4, nor are they really efficient when it comes to clearing out downstairs. However, Melo just walking up these stairs, crouch walked, having that information onto where Rush is, could potentially lead towards an entry towards the site.
It is, however, Ice that gets killed here by Exodus. And with that, Hellraisers is able to get the upper hand right now. Only a minute remaining in Finca off the board, and that's quite a strong operator. And especially in the late game, you can heal your teammates. However, Melo does some damage back, gets the kill on Rush. Rush still not really having the game of his life here, is he? Smash with the refrag here on Ravando. And what? Melo's on site?
Melo is on site, yeah, but waits for his teammates and does not get the kill on the player still playing in stock. Shade now finds himself here as well, all looking towards to jump in on these big windows. windows. Only really the possibility for Acend to go, but the top 4 control is still there, and that'll be detrimental for enemies. He finds himself being killed here. Shade left in a 1v3, but his Flare has to pick up that last kill. Too much control in the hands of Hellraiser still, as it wasn't really going well for Acend when they tried to clear that upstairs control. They relied on those window jump-ins, but it wasn't enough. There was too much control still in the hands of Hellraisers.
It's 4-4 and game on right over here. We just saw another successful bar defense, and with that they're going to the master bedroom right here. It's Hellraisers bringing it back, and really bringing it back. They were down 3-0. Acend has only been able to win 1 of the previous 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. It's very unfortunate as you look at their side. They were trying and investing so much time and utility in that library take for the player to only drop back towards side. So what did you get out of that? Nothing. Basically nothing. Then you had Smash still dancing his way around that top library door, and that's how you really can't force yourself entry there. On the other side, around Office, we saw some players of Acend trying to deal probably with that Office wall, but there was a kite Electroclaw on that. They couldn't breach that to get that control and to force that utility towards the top library stairs, unfortunately. And then Exodus, all of a sudden, just comes into their backs, eliminate the player in Office, plays her out with the player around the fluke window, and they probably weren't expecting Exodus to come upstairs all the way back after he's just dropped back to side. Really good map control coming out from Hellraisers. Not efficient enough in the clearing from Acend. That led them towards relying onto those window jumps in. And yeah, if you're going to rely on that with that big window jump in, with all those lines of sight on you, it's not really going to end well, is it?
What would have countered those ADSs and those one-mine discs, and
that breach coming from Office. If that's the first step you want to try and take, right? You take Office, you take that wall, but the Electroclaw on that wall just wasn't able, like, it wasn't getting cleared. Acend couldn't breach that wall, and if you have that wall breached, you can clear the top the shield on top library, you can clear all those magnets and ADSs and everything, and then you can take control over library, but that wall wasn't getting breached.
That's rather unfortunate, but let's make it even simpler, Anne. How do you get rid of those ADSs and one-mine discs that are in library? Which operator could you use for that? That's currently not available.
What do you mean it's currently not available?
A Twitch. Hellraisers banned a Twitch, knowing that Acend plays Twitch quite a lot. That Twitch could have been used to clear those ADSs, right? To clear those one-mine discs. And because that Twitch is not in play, it took a lot more utility than it usually does. And they didn't have enough utility. They didn't have enough of it. So they weren't able to clear all those ADSs and all those one-mine discs, or they were simply just a little bit too slow. It is, however, Smash currently in double digits, and he's the first, I was going to say the first player, but let's not forget about Shade on the side of Acend, who is on double digits in this game. Question is, can he keep that streak going? Have they just misthrown Smash? Yes, they have. Shade! Your team misthrown Smash. He decided to just smash into bar, but wow.
That is very unfortunate. You can't really allow yourself that to be happening. If you want to take this control, you need to drone out bar properly. It's such a good hiding spot for any defender waiting to perform a potential flank later on into the round. But if you don't drone that out properly, you're looking at an entry death from one of your best performing players into this game so far. No more nades for Shane that he can toss around as well, and that's a very costly set. Looking at how much time and utility is costing Acend to clear out all those ADSs. Ravan now sends in an RC Retiro charge. No mute on the board for them to stop these RC rechargers coming in. He looks to clear that shield on top of the piano quite efficiently. Eyes over falling as well. It's Exodus to pick up another kill. Flare is now a little bit more exposed here. It's also being held down on the window by Melu, but still that Surya Gate won't able to lead him out. Exodus picking up another kill. Double kill for himself so far.
Oh, no.
Goes for another one. Flares with a kill onto Melu, leaving enemy in a 1v5.
Yeah, and it's all up to enemy with only 30 seconds remaining. Still has both of his exothermic charges, but he gets run out on by Smash. And my goodness, Smash currently on 12 kills, if I've counted correctly. However, we know that counting is not my strong suit. It is Acend that started off so well, Anne, but all of a sudden Hellraisers is bringing it back. Does that mean that Ian is a huge big brain? Because let's not forget, this is Acend's their map pick.
This is indeed Acend's map pick, and Demo pointed it out. Chalet probably is Acend's best map or strongest map, it's really looking like they can't set up these attacks properly here. Looking at the amount of rounds that Hellraisers won in the past few rounds, they got themselves back from a 1-3 round disadvantage, then back from a 2-4 round disadvantage, and now they're already looking at a round advantage. They're 5-4 up, and like he said before, with that switch in not being able to be played, it makes it so much more difficult for Acend to clear out utility properly. One more thing that I want to point out as well, looking at the teamwork not really coming in from Acend. Hellraisers, they brought in that specific round, they brought a Wamai as well as a Jaeger. Jaeger has had a rework in the past year, right? His ADS is no longer being able to take up 3 of those utility thingies. Only 1, and it recharges again after 10 seconds. If you don't have that proper teamwork coming out, if you don't have a flashbang or a grenade following up within that 10-second time frame, the ADS will be enabled again. Also, assisted by all those Wamai magnets, I mean, you can bring tons of flashbangs, as many flashbangs as if you want, but if you don't time it properly, if you don't put that much pressure onto those magnets and those ADSs, you won't be able to clear them.
Especially if you don't have a Twitch. I keep saying it. Detrimental here. The first and that they can't bring that Twitch. It is currently Hellraisers that's still up 5-4. I'm saying still up, but this is the first time that they're up in this matchup. It is Chalet, Acend's map pick, and they're struggling here, and they really are. They did okay on defense. I mean, a 4-2 split for a map as Chalet is quite good if we look at the statistics for Challenger League. Tell me, Anne.
Shade's not being droned in once again. He's just walking around in bar. I don't see anyone of Acend on drones. Now we do see enemy in Ravon. But whilst he was looking around in bar, walking around in bar rather, no one of Acend was on a drone to support him and to walk him into there, to drone him into there. Now he's again walking in blindly. 4 players of Acend currently on their drones. They need to make sure that they know the locations of the defenders. Indeed, it's good that you learn, but now they've already wasted a minute. What is their map control so far?
Not a lot. They took library control if I see that correctly. They're now going to try and open this wall. This wall is quite important to open into office, of course. With that, you do create a very good line of sight that you'll need, because Exodus is still playing there. But Exodus is quite safe over there, and he can go for peaks. And if he says, you know what, I no longer feel safe here, he can drop down that hatch. So you need to hurry up if you're Acend over here.
Where's the player on the solar windows? I mean, looking at the fact that Smash and Exodus are still above, they have such power positions to hold on to upstairs.
Oh, no.
I mean, they're trying to just push these players out. Now enemy is trying to go for a breach, but what did they have on map control? Flayer's picking up the opening kill onto Mello. Rihanna now off the board. No more replicators coming in for information. And now Acend is referring back towards this straight on horizontal push, seeing as they can't get that top for control. Smash still has so much utility, and players of Acend are not really looking to clear him efficiently just yet. Also, Exodus in a really good position, and this is going to be detrimental for Acend if they don't clear those players.
Tell me you droned him. Tell me you droned him. Please do so. It's a mission, however, with the kill on Ravon, and I do think that they did drone a mission there. Excuse me, Exodus there. However, Exodus has pulled back already, and now it's Smash who's playing in piano. Good repositioning here from Smash. Ice with the kill on Exodus. Does Ice also know that there's still a Jaeger heart left of him? I don't think he does, and that means that he might just get wallbanged in any second now when Ice starts walking in. He still thinks that there's a player in master bedroom, but there's nobody over there. It is Shade that's going to try and get a kill here with his nade. Doesn't find anybody. Now they have to get the defuser down, and because there's only 15 seconds remaining, but a mission is not allowing him entry. A mission with a double kill. Can he get a triple kill here? A mission with a triple kill. He gets the kill on Ice as well. It is our co-caster Toldersma's favorite gun that he used here.
He must be very happy watching this indeed. What a beautiful play with that ACS, picking up I think 4 kills, as that one to last kill already showed triple kill in the feed coming in. Massively played out here by Hellraisers, and I'm sad to see this kind of split push coming in from Acend, because yes, they learned from the fact that Shade was an entry death because they didn't properly drone him in, but now they were droning, and they kept on trying to gain that control from above, but when they noticed that it wasn't going to work out as well as they did, they decided to split up, had 2 players still above, but also a few players walking on that downstairs breach. If you get that opened and you don't have that top for control, you're going to get picked off by players from above very easily. Like we saw Diana being picked up from that door around kitchen. I mean, there's vertical lines on you, there's lines from kitchen on you. you can't all keep control of all these lines of sight that are being held on you. The fact that they went for that split push there, it didn't really get enough pressure above to clear those two players out. It didn't clear out the Aruni. Sorry, they didn't clear out the Aruni. They didn't clear out the Jaeger. So that pressure from Hellraisers was still above. Had they had a player on piano window, or had they had a player on bathroom window or solar windows, that would have been so much easier to clear that upstairs defense and get hold of those positions from above.
So basically what you're saying is their split push wasn't split up enough. They should have split it differently. They split the cake wrong.
Yes, because if you make sure you get that top 4 control first, we kind of saw Acend fall for the same kind of issue as they did with that previous kitchen attack. They went for that straight and horizontal lobby take, but all these players above were able to hold such good lines of sight on them that they didn't really find an entry into the side. This time, they went for the horizontal take again, not succeeding in taking that top 4 control, which again costed them the round.
Oh, they know Exodus is here again. Will they be able to clear Exodus this time with their nades? That's the question. They have quite some nades available, but do they also have somebody to burn those ADSs for them? It will be enemy trying to burn some of the ADSs. That's 1. That should be 2, right? Yes, that's 2. But Exodus already knows that he is about to get naded away from here. They do get the down on Exodus, but not the out. He can go back to side. He will get picked up over here by flares. So we think... You droned that, right, guys? You droned that. You can't let him pick him up. You droned... Flares literally just shot a drone, and you let him pick him up. That's crazy. That is crazy.
This is the adaptation that I want to see come out from Acend. They cleared out library much quicker this time. Really good use of utility to clear out that player. And look at that, Shade still has 2 nades in his pocket. So a lot of utility that I can still use later on into the round. Good drone work coming out to make sure that the entirety of the top 4 is clear. And that should allow Shade to walk down the library stairs. Could potentially hold some longer lines of sight, forcing players of Hellraisers to either come back to site or to hold on to their positions. But look at that, players of Hellraisers are still downstairs and still feel that they can roam around very freely.
Yeah, and they also know exactly where Shade is because we saw one of the yellow pings coming out. It is, however, Mellow falling to mission. Ice does get a refrag and smash, making it a 4 versus 4 situation. And look at the health on the side of Exodus. He was down, of course. He's been picked up, so only has 20 HP remaining. Shade will go for vertical angles, and maybe that's just the right call here, Shade, because going down those stairs might not be the play. It is, however, Exodus in quite a dangerous situation. Now has to watch out for that same Shade. And oh no, the timing. This is what we like to call siege timing. Looks away at the wrong time, but does somehow get back to bar. Playing the Roni over here.
42 seconds left on the clock. Indeed, Rooney being aware of that player above, just waiting until he gets that pixel there. Von picking up a kill onto Rush. And now Shade picks up the kill onto Exodus. That's that control from downstairs also being eliminated. Flares now pops that last smoke canister, gets a beautiful shot onto Shade. And we're looking at a 2-3 man count. However, there is Von to fall as well. So we're looking at a 2-2. Flares gets injured, which technically puts a mission in a 1v2. 18 seconds left on the clock. A mission looking to swing onto the library stairs. Does not win the gunfight with Ice. It is a center pick up that round, and this was a much needed round, otherwise they would already be looking at map down.
It is 6-5, and that means that Acend is still in the running, but Hellraisers just need one more round. They need one more round to be able to close this, and it is a timeout called here by Acend, and maybe this is just the perfect timing to do so, right? You just won a round, so now you can talk and say, okay guys, how do we keep this ball rolling? How do we keep going like that? Because that was a good round, if you ask me.
Yeah, sure.
It was sloppy at the end, though.
Yes. I like the fact that you point out sloppy at the end, because the last 2 rounds, we did see an early round adaptation come out from Acend. Looking at the one to last round, they droned the inside properly this time, making sure that they knew where the defenders are. And in that last round, the early round adaptation came in the point of their utility usage. Efficiently clearing out ADSs while my magnets upstairs, properly being able to nade out Exodus, forcing him to drop back to the side, and then having to have someone from Hellraisers pick him up, basically only puts 3 active players on the board for Hellraisers at that point. That allowed Acend to gain that top 4 control, utilize those vertical lines aside, and that's how they were finally able to push out that round that they needed so much.
Definitely, and what I like about Shade is first he was going to walk down the library stairs, right? But then he said, you know what, I think I'm more needed upstairs to make those vertical angles, because those vertical angles kind of they draw the enemy out of bar, right? By doing that, the enemies can't stay in bar, which was almost it almost cost the life of Acend there, because indeed, you know, we saw the Wamai not playing in bar, but was almost, you know, was off to the side, the little room next to the stairs, you know, and by that he almost was able to clutch it. I believe it was a mission, because it was a mission and Flair still alive and the Flares died. However, almost a lost round there for Acend at the end, but they pull this off somehow. It is 6-5. Hellraisers will go back to the office master bedroom hold. Question is, will they be successful, Anne?
I'm very curious as to what Acend talked about in that minute timeout, because they seem to be bringing somewhat the same operators. However, this time they're not bringing the Thermite, they're bringing the Hibana, which should allow for a little bit more safety when it comes to breaching. Looking at the fact that Rush has a C4 in hands, probably has some control downstairs and could go for a C4 if you bring a Thermite, for example. So with this Hibana, it should allow you for a little bit more safety when it comes to a breach. I'm very curious where this main attack is going to come from Acend, because you have that either that Solar take or the library side attack. But Hellraisers, they keep on putting a solid roam. Seeing as they have some pressure with 2 roamers underneath, they need to make sure that they clear them out. Last few rounds, we saw Acend drone in the first minute very properly, making sure they know where the defenders are, and I'm looking to see that from them again.
Looks like Acend is going for a north side push over here. Quite the usual, right? You can either decide to fully go for the library, or you decide to go fully for the north side. And here it seems that they choose to attack from this side. What do you think about that?
I like it, but the fact that they don't bring the buck will make it a lot more difficult to clear out trophy, because normally it sends someone down all the way into garage to hold that vertical line of sight on the trophy stairs, making sure that the player that is possibly playing there can't rotate back. But now they have to actually face check that or properly drone it out to make sure that they can take that control over the windows and top solar stairs. Mello here getting viable information with that yellow ping onto Flares, who was initially on a drone on his chems. Shay picking up the opening kill onto Emission. That's the alibi off the board.
Yeah, and with that, the top fragger of the board. Next to that, it's also the smoke that gets killed. However, Smash does run out here, does get a refrag on ice, and you know that can be quite detrimental here for Acend, because that's your Finka off the board, and that Finka can be so strong late in the game. We can't emphasize that enough. It is, however, Exodus with the refrag on Shade, and wow, it's a 3 versus 3 all of a sudden, Anne.
Yeah, the fact that if you lost your smoke is going to be very unfortunate. They had that information on where the smoke was. Smoke not being aware of the fact that he was in fact being droned out. And now you have so much viable utility off the board. We have a C4 still from Rush, looking that he's just pre-placed it somewhere, seeing as it escaped from his pocket. But now they have this control over Piano still. Players of Acend already on trophy here. Is Ravon to pick up a kill on the Smash. Mello going very low on HP. No longer any nades in his pocket. And Extra's playing close to that rotate. Could potentially go for a huge swing.
It seems like that they have the intel, because we saw some red pings coming out. It is Rafan with the kill on Rush, and now it's all up to Exodus. A 1 versus 3. He's fully white, meaning fully flashed. Mello can get the kill here, and with that, we're going to overtime. It's the first map, and we're already into overtime, man.
I'm loving to see that. We said today it was going to be close games, and this is exactly what we're talking about when we mean close games. Overtime. That means that Hellraisers gets to start on the fence. They just finished 6 rounds on the fence, so that should give a little bit of an advantage to Acend, because they know how Hellraisers likes to defend. However, all these sites are still up for grabs for Hellraisers, because that gets reset when you go into that overtime, meaning that they can go back to Kitchen, which there is around they won 2 rounds ago. We saw that beautiful play coming out from Mission with the ACS-12, just holding these longs aside, just handing out these taps on the players that were mainly focusing on that horizontal take. And this round is going to be essential for Acend to force that upstairs control. Let it be with players on Windows Repel. Let it be with players just forcing out the top stairs control with nades and everything. We saw that strong nade pressure coming out just in that last round. That top 4 take will be essential to get a solid horizontal take and to go for the future.
Let's not forget that Hellraisers, their only side that they've won twice on defense was indeed this Kitchen. So the question is, does Acend now finally know how to attack this? You've had 2 opportunities.
I just told them how to attack it.
You did tell him. The question is, do they have a mic hidden somewhere in this studio?
No,
because
like,
then
it's always easier said than done, right? Like, take top 4 control. You can't just do it as easily as I'm saying this, because of course Hellraisers has operators as well as utility invested into just holding on to a buff for as long as possible. So it'll like ask for some good control and some good communication coming out from Acend. Like I said, perhaps with window rappels and everything. Rappel onto that big window, and you can't allow anyone to rotate from piano into bathroom anymore. That would be a really good step for them to get that going on initially, just so they can't have players of Hellraisers rotate above anymore.
However, it does seem like Acend is indeed more going towards the north side of things. So Solarium. Maybe they are listening to your advice, and we already see Mellow on the Solarium rappel. Question is, will he win his gunfights? Because it's quite important to do so. You see that Hellraisers is holding this a little bit differently. I think they only have one person on the on top. No, they have two. It's Exodus and the Jaeger Smash.
Yes, exactly like they did last time. And now they're taking it from the solar side. That's already exposing a lot of utility from Hellraisers as they were able to clear out the Mute Jammer. Maybe an AD as well. Ice with the opening kill onto Exodus. That is very important, because now they've cleared out one of those 2 roamers above. It's Smash all by himself, and now we see this big window rappel. I'm just getting really happy with this. Ice now looking to put pressure into Piano. Does not find a kill onto Smash. Back to a 4-4 man count. Where is the refrag potential? It's not coming out on the side of Acend just yet. Big window rappel here could potentially go huge for Shade if he knows to time that properly. They need to join him out. They need to make sure where Smash is exactly before they can put pressure onto him.
He just shot, so that should expose his location right over here. It is a mission that's also going back to site, was trying to play on Solarium stairs, trying to give a little bit of relief to his teammate who's still holding top floor. That same teammate just gets a kill here, an enemy. How are you allowing this to happen, Acend? It is Smash holding the top floor all by himself. Yes, you can rotate. You can push from a different side, but if you let Smash just roam around for free, he will do things to your team. However, Mellow is there for the refrag, and with that, it's a 3 versus 3 taken. And maybe now, just maybe now, they should actually be in on the lobby side of things to try and open that wall. It is Flares that gets the kill and Shade. It is Mellow with a refrag, and I think this will just come down to a frag fest because enemy has died. And I think he was indeed trying to rotate, but he died. You don't have a Heartbreacher anymore. It's now Ravon and Mellow. It's all up to who has the most frags.
Oh no, why is Ravon just leaving the diffuser above? Why is he going onto his floor as RC material charge? Now the breach is here open with an impact, which should allow Mission to swing on that real quickly, but he isn't doing it just yet. Ravon on low HP. Mellow's picked up the diffuser again. Mission able to eliminate that the Nano replicator. However, it's Mellow to pick up a kill. The Refon being traded now. 1v1. Mellow has to find the kill onto Rush. Rush finding safety behind that half wall. The head being spotted out just a little bit, but it's information coming out. Rush finds that last kill onto Mellow. The bulletproof camera spotting his position, allowing Rush to go for the swing with the SMG-11. This round looked so much better from Acend, but it ended up going for a frag fest that did not go into the hands of Acend.
Enemy should have never died there. As the Heartbreacher, by a Smash that you still know is upstairs. That shouldn't have happened.
Ice was enter death on the side of Acend.
Yes.
He was spectating his teammates. Not on a flank drone. They didn't have that information on towards
To be fair, there was a Mute Jammer up top, but if you look at the site, there's too many windows on top floor. I mean, too many windows to have complete mute coverage everywhere. So there's no excuse to not have a flank drone anywhere. You can throw. You can literally throw your. I mean, you've practiced this afternoon. You can throw your drone past a Mute Jammer.
Yes, but like another thing that I'd like to point out, Ice could have had a flank drone, yes, but then you also had Shade on that big window rappel. I was asking for that. I was really happy to see that coming out, but he was on such a default spot on that window. You actually saw Smash just looking at the bottom left side of that window, waiting for Shade to peek it. Would Shade have been upside down on that window because there was no pressure of lobby whatsoever? He wasn't going to get run out on. would he have been upside down on that window, he could have been able to hold down Smash's position around Piano constantly. That would not have allowed Smash to rotate out of Piano as he did, and that's how he was able to pick up that kill onto enemy. Very unfortunate. You're losing players above. Eventually they get that top 4 control, then you see the Sledge trying to make those lines aside, immediately getting peeked by players. A lot of aggression coming out from an SMG11 player, but I do like to see it that way because that might have actually won them the round as well. They denied that top 4 control, forced the players of Acend to come in from Trophy, and it just wasn't any viable entry point from Trophy whatsoever.
Oh no, Shade with the team kill on Ice! Worst timing ever!
That is really, really unfortunate. That is...
I see a smoke sometimes kill their teammate with a shotgun when they're trying to make shotgun holes. But with the SMG11?
On a 6-7 overtime map point, you don't want to have that.
What were you shooting at? Anyways, he himself does, you know, is able to rotate and stay alive. Mello will get a kill back on Rush, but that's not one of the players on the side of Hellraisers that you have to worry about. Yes, it's one of the hard breachers, but Rush hasn't really been playing the game that we hope to see from him. Only found 4 kills so far. It is still 4 frag-heavy players on the side of Hellraisers that are alive. We see 3 of them actually on double digits. Ice can be so important for Acend. He's a player that we know can step up, and he's now on cam duty. He is at least now actually watching a cam and on a bulletproof actually. That's
very good. But Mission here with the DMR, just rappelling onto the office window, waiting for any player to peek potentially. Where Vaughn finds himself on top of the library stairs, still protected with a Surya Gate, a shield, and potentially some ADSs or my magnets. So that's going to cost a lot of utility to force him out of there. Assisted by a player downstairs in the hallway as well, but look at all those magnets on the beams on this library hallway here. He's going to be staying here for a lot of time, just tossing out magnets time and time after, but that nade won't do any damage whatsoever. Smash now forcing himself through the smoke towards top main, but the information coming out, so Mello goes for a pre-fire, doesn't hit it yet. Smash and Access both picking up a kill. 2 players left for Acend. They need to clutch this 2v4, otherwise they'll lose this map.
Huge rounds here from Hellraisers and Smash. 16 kills already, and it's a 4 versus 2 indeed. They do have top control right over here, and question is, does Shade know it? It seems like he knew it, but he didn't really care. Now gets his head removed by that same Smash. 17 kills and counting. Can he get an 18th kill? It's all up to enemy now. He needs to clutch this. It's a 1 versus 4 situation. 25 seconds remaining. Acend is about to lose their map pick. They are about to lose their map pick. We see that enemy gets droned out here. Does he know that he's being droned out? I don't think he does. He does get a kill on Smash. Can he find a second kill? There's 2 players behind him. No, he doesn't. It's a Mission who gets the kill on enemy. And with that, it is Acend losing their map pick.
Yeah, exactly. It's Hellraiser to come out better here, and this is where they finally managed to win a 4v1 clutching situation. They were able to pinpoint that player in bar, force him out, have all those lines of sight onto him, and that's how they're able to clear out enemy there in his 1v4. Solid performance coming out from Hellraisers, and as you said, I think that switch ban being essential into them getting these solid defenses going on Chalet, because Chalet is an attacker favorite map, but it just didn't work for Acend to put out these strong attacks, and now they're looking at a map disadvantage, and now we're also going to go to Hellraiser's map pick.
Yeah, it is a huge performance there from Smash. I believe he had 17 kills and massive performance. Also, Exodus showed up for his team. We saw that happen, and I just think that in that last round, that team kill, I wouldn't want to be in their voice chat at that moment. I mean, what do you say? You can say sorry, but like, what do you say?
Well, mistakes happen and everything, but if any round you'd want this to happen, you don't want this to happen when you're looking at a map point against you. That is going to bring the mental down massively. You're on the fence. We've not seen very solid attacks coming out from Hellraiser because it was a 2-4 split when Acend was defending, but that's going to get confidence into the hands of Hellraiser, and if they're taking that onto, like, that momentum onto their next map, this could look detrimental for Acend.
Yeah, so the both of us thought it was because of the Twitch being banned, right? I mean, that could have really helped Acend over there.
And some other issues, yes.
I am curious what our desk thinks, but before we are going to ask him, let's go to a small break.